Okay, go ahead.
So our stone, depending on what kind is chosen, if it's 2 centimeter stone, that's only about 3/4 inches thick. That will fit in here just fine. If you choose something that's a 3 centimeter, that's about 1.25 inches, which means it will sit approximately 1/2 inch to 5/8 higher than the top of this current counter, which means that this side rail, basically trim, would end up getting in the way of the countertop. It would be too low. So we could have this removed, have the countertop installed, and then trim the bottom of this trim just a little bit to squeeze it back into place after the countertop is installed. That'd be the best way to do it.
So
like I said, there's 2
you can
different
lower
thicknesses.
this down?
You could always lower that down if you wanted to. That's up to you, whatever you think is more or less work. I mean, there's a lot more to move. If you were to lower this down, there's a lot more to do. Whereas if you take off this trim and you just strip off probably this last eighth, obviously wait till the countertop's put on first. But you see this little lip right here, that bottom little lip? That's what I'm thinking. So it's probably, I think it'll cut it real close. So if you take this trim off, you could always shave it down a little bit and pop the trim back on after the countertop is in. Now that's only if you're using a 3 centimeter stone. We do carry stones in 2 cm. I don't know if it'll be the color you like, but if you did find one in 2 cm, that means it's only 3/4 inches thick. You wouldn't have to move anything, because that would be 3/4. 3/4 is basically exactly the thickness of this right here, minus this overhang of 3/4. You would have 3/4 inches. We know that 3/4 inches would fit without doing any work at all. But you would have to choose a 2 centimeter stone thickness in order to do that.
And that would look kind of goofy.
I think so. It's better to have 3 cm so it looks wider like this does. So 3 cm is better. But just in the long run, to keep from doing a bunch of work, I'm assuming ripping this down a little thinner is probably the best way to go. Or you could even, most of this can be stayed, and then just kind of rip it down here, the little bit where the countertop is. But just remove this off.
But that's got to go in any event. You're saying that the molding's got to go?
The molding would have to go, yes, for us to install. Once we install, like I said, it's going to be sitting higher. It'll hit this mold, which is going to stop it from going in place nicely. If you remove the mold, then afterwards you can put the mold kind of back on and see where it stops right here at the front of your, wherever it's going to stop up here. And then from there, you could always trim up a hair into the mold.
Gotcha.
And then strip a little off just so it fits nicely back in.
Gotcha.
I think that's going to be a whole lot easier than trying to drop this whole thing down, because then you got to move all the boards all the way around and lower the walls in between.
All right, Nate. So you got that, Nate?